650. Today's subject, the FBAs versus Fat Joe. Fat Joe made an appearance on My Expert Opinion, hosted by Math Hoffa and crew. And Fat Joe was discussing basically, the contributions that Latinos contribute to hip hop. And I guess there's some notion amongst Latinos' involvement with hip hop from its inception. I've made a upload about this on my other channel, Mint Game Network. When you grow up in, let's say, New York City, or in the East Coast, New York City, Philly, Connecticut, Boston, Baltimore, DC, the Mid-Atlantic area. When you're in these neighborhoods, you grow up with mixed cultures and Puerto Rican descent, Mexico descent. I mean, you're around it all. And this is everyday life for an individual who grows up, who grew up in the city on the East Coast. Maybe not so much down south. Maybe not so much, in rural America, so to speak. But we're constantly, Latinos and blacks, and like I said, all the groups that I name are constantly intertwined. We're constantly mingling. We're constantly have interactions, and we're constantly, we support each other. We support each other's restaurants, culture, events, festivals. We do that it's like every week I do it. And I never thought about, of course, I'm a black American. But I'm not going to get caught up, man, in this hissy fit about an argument about who created hip hop. And for the sake of argument, Latinos did not create hip hop. They didn't. It's just not historically correct. Black people created a lot of genres of music. You can say classical, you can say rock and roll, the blues, bebop, what's the other? Everything. I mean, almost rock and roll, R&B, soul, jazz. Come on, man. And those old soul music and R&B music that you hear from those classics, Isley Brothers, Stevie Wonder, especially James Brown, George Clinton, these were staples in hip hop as far as sampling. A lot of these disco cuts that were back in the day, and particularly soul music. They were black music that we were sampling from. We weren't sampling music from the Caribbean. We weren't sampling music, from Cuba or Mexico, and there's no slight on that. We just wasn't doing it. We were hip hop was basically founded on sampling. And these people who created that art form of sampling and mixing, and then they dropped the break beat and the boom bap. Come on, man. It's undeniable. Why are we having this argument? I don't understand. It's like we keep going around in circles about this. What Fat Joe said on Math Hoffa, he has a beef with the FBAs. Probably, Tariq Nasheed, who's a vocal. His voice is pretty big in that movement. I get it. I understand it. I don't like all the division though, but I get it. It's basically you know, letting folks know that, you know, we're Black Americans. Our culture is here. We've been here, even though we've been persecuted and maimed and murdered, uh, and land being snatched, and homes being burnt down, and towns being burnt down, and bombs being dropped off. We're still here, and people are emulating us as a culture, and I don't understand why they have so much of a problem with that. You know what I'm saying? Some of the immigrants and some of the people who came over, and we're, Black people are just, we have that natural swag. And whether you want to say it came from Africa, whatever, the lineage or whatever, the lineage was already here, established. Yes, it might have came from the transatlantic slave trade by way of Caribbean, as far as, people being dropped off in different parts of North America and South America. But Black America set the tone culturally. We set the tone. Okay? Stylistically, the way we use our lingo, the way in all of these things that I'm listing were things that was vital to our survival. Lingo, culture, the way we greet each other, the way we talk to each other amongst ourselves. And it's the same thing other groups do amongst themselves. Some people, a lot of people take issue with Fat Joe using the N word, whether he using the hard ER or the A. To me, that's semantics. We all know what that N word means, and how it's been used derogatory towards us, and also how we use it towards each other, more or less like as a term of endearment. So, if you don't like someone else of a different hue using the word, or you perceive as not really a Black 100% person, as far as their DNA, like Black American, then that's up to the individual. I can't tell a person how to formulate what he believes, or what he grew up and what he believed and what he been taught, he or she. But as far as I'm concerned, the N word, and Fat Joe using this, and Fat Joe have a problem with saying that, Black Americans, foundational Black Americans, are racist, to use that blanket term. And I know he wasn't trying to do it like that. He was directing that to someone. He just didn't want to mention the guy's name, Tariq Nasheed. Because he's been vocal. He's been leading this charge with FBAs. But a lot of it, I don't always agree with this separation part. I think we're stronger together. But I do understand how certain groups are emboldened now because of the fact that they got their numbers up. And they feel that, they want to be heard. They want to be, their voice is just as strong as anyone else. We get it. We're not trying to denounce anyone from being, that's another thing. People have an issue with, they see a group being successful or thriving, and then now, let's admit, a lot of people feel threatened. And when they feel threatened, I'm saying threatened in the way that they're like, in their minds might not be doing as well, then to me that's you. That's a you problem. You have to figure that out. This is America, man. You come over here and you get a business. You do what you got to do. You go through the paperwork and file your business. You save your money. I'm not hating on that. I'll never hate on anybody from trying to be successful. That'd be asinine to me. So get back to the hip hop part of it. I'm just saying historically factual. Historically factual. Latinos did not create hip hop. They contribute to the art form because they were in the neighborhoods. They went to the park jams. They went to the shows and the events. And yes, they were into the break dancing and all that as a community. But as far as creating the genre, that's not correct. And that's not hate. That's just being factual. Fat Joe, and I'm a Fat Joe fan. I just listened to his album today. Pretty good album, actually. Am I going to stop supporting Fat Joe? No, I like Fat Joe. I mean, he seems like a good dude. I don't know him, but Fat Joe also likes to hear himself talk. And a lot of people had a problem with Math because Math was on there. He was on Math Hoffa show, My Expert Opinion. And with all these dudes being so strong in their opinions and about, checking someone, doing this, then you should have checked them if you have an issue with it. Math, you have an issue about everything else. I don't even know if you really a FBA. Because you seem to let a lot of things slide lately. You know what I'm saying? But then when Van Lathan was on there, you was trying to get all slick and smirked. You know what I mean? Like this one-upmanship, like trying to prove something. Who's the smartest? And then you don't let Fat Joe. You don't check Fat Joe with all that goofiness. You dig what I'm saying? Be consistent, my brother. But you've been acting kind of weird anyway. To be honest with you, I ain't gonna hold you. You've been acting kind of weird, man. Real rap. But that's a different debate. It's a different conversation. And we're gonna get into that. Cause I don't like how you've been moving. You just been moving mad funny, bro. To be honest with you. You know what I mean? I gotta be honest, bro. You didn't check Fat Joe. You took the thing down. You took the interview down. So you must be feeling some kind of pressure. Leave it up. Follow up with that show, with the feedback that the public has been saying, whatever feedback or criticism that they have towards you or towards Fat Joe, and follow up. Don't run and hide now. Like I said, as far as Fat Joe, I'm a fan. Fat Joe likes to hear himself talk. He likes to talk. It's very entertaining to me because I don't take everything he says seriously. Now, I don't know how in his heart he might believe that he's a stand-up guy. He might literally feels like in his heart that this particular movement are racist based on their verbiage or whatever it is that he feels some kind of way with. He has his opinion about that. He's wrong, but he obviously it's something that it's something that he feels very strong about. And so when he becomes unfiltered and transparent about it, of course you're gonna get the feedback because it's attacking another group. It's accusing a group of being a group that has been oppressed through centuries. And you're putting the racism on them. I can see that angle if that's how you feel, but you're wrong. You're wrong. A few of them, but not the whole bunch, not the whole group. So you got to name names, Fat Joe. It's like, to say that person's name who you want to call racist. Don't say a label a whole group because that's wrong. You know what I mean? That's like me saying all Latinos are racist, which we know is not true. So I know you're in your feels about that, but it is what it is, bro. And as far as this creativity and all this creation of hip hop is the top dog right now. It's been the top dog for a minute. Like I said, black people, black Americans set the tone as far as style, swag. And we're not trying to put anybody down, but you guys are emulating us. And there's nothing wrong with that. But don't try to jump out there and say you created this genre and all that. Nah, we didn't. We wasn't sampling any Caribbean and nothing like that. We wasn't doing that. Not at the beginning. It was James Brown. It was George Clinton. Maybe a little Marvin Gaye. It was a bunch of people. The classics, Temptations. You know, these disco records, these soulful little breaks, you know, like I said, mixed with break beats and all kinds of stuff. Black people did that. Because we just reported that was in the neighborhood. We were just talking about stuff that we do every day. You know what I mean? It's things that we go through, thoughts in our head when we get to the project or when we get to the, you know, around our neighborhoods. You know what I mean? We might be on the porch chilling, doing dominoes, whatever. Throwing spades, whatever. We just rapping about stuff like that. So Fat Joe, you can miss me with that creativity thing because you didn't do it. You didn't create. You was there. I'm not going to say like Lord Jamar said, you a guest. Because I know you from the Bronx, bro. And digging in the crates, B.O., Big L, AG, and the crew. And then Fat Joe, you said something else, talking about Lord Jamar. He's not a legend, or he's not a legend anymore. How can you snatch somebody what they a legend, and how can you do that? How can you just say that? Brand Nubian is a legendary group. Brand Nubian is a legendary group. Lord Jamar is legendary. That's why people check him out. That's why his interviews when he was with Vlad was really at the top of the food chain over there. Until he woke up and decided to do his own thing. Lord Jamar has a voice in hip hop. Legendary group, Brand Nubian. So you can't just say this guy's not a legend. You know what I mean? Just because he's not up there with the big, so-called big dogs, the Biggies, the Pacs, and all that. Come on, man. You don't have to be. You don't have to be that. You know, this is the thing. That's why hip-hop was created. We're making our own thing. What their legends might be, yeah, they legends, but we're going to create our own legends. You can't just snatch somebody's legend status away like that. No. That's not cool. It's like when we say you're not a legend. What gives us the right to say that? Because you don't agree with us? You don't agree with something politically or socially that we might say? This argument is just so stupid, man. But it keeps rearing its head. And people get emotional about it. As they should. Because they strongly believe, the originators strongly believe in what they believe in. And they're going to tell you straight up, nah. They would dare, but they weren't creating it. You know what I'm saying? They contribute as it got on further and as it gained momentum. But at the beginning, no. Sorry. I'm not going for it. Not at all. But anyway, man, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate the love. And hit that like button, share this video. Subscribe to the channel. And Guardian 650. Peace.